Hi everyone, this is Low Fiber Girl here, and today I'm going to talk about a low residue diet and why I'm on a low residue diet. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm on a low residue diet permanently, not temporarily. And this is also called a low fiber diet, hence my name, Low Fiber Girl. So that's what I'm going to explain today. You may not know why I'm doing this type of diet and what it really is. So as you may know, I eat a diet that's predominantly dairy and chocolate, but the main point of this diet is that it's low fiber, and that also is called low residue. So I'll explain a little bit about this, and then after this I'm going to do another video talking about sugars and starches, a very important video that explains the differences of those and how your body processes those. So basically, a low residue diet is a highly specialized medical meal plan designed to limit the amount of undigested food passing through your large intestine. The residue refers to any solid material left over after initial digestion, primarily composed of dietary fiber, complex starches, and certain unabsorbed fats or proteins. The primary goal of this diet is to reduce stool volume and frequency, and that gives an inflamed, narrow, or healing bowel a chance to completely rest. So when is this type of diet prescribed? It's prescribed typically when someone has IBD, which is inflammatory bowel disease, during active symptom flare-ups of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Also for diverticulitis, to prevent irritation of inflamed pouches in the colon walls. And pre or post surgery, before colorectal surgery, to ensure the bowels are clear and to ensure the bowels are clear and can heal cleanly. And also colonoscopy preparation, often utilized a few days before a colonoscopy to minimize bowel debris. So these are people that do it temporarily for the surgeries, but for myself, I'm on it permanently, and the reason is because my body does not tolerate fiber at all, and it, whether or not I have any of those issues is another case, but the point is my body does not tolerate fiber, and I don't feel comfortable with it, and I feel great without it. So here are foods that you can eat on a low residue diet. These are foods that are heavily refined, simple and easily absorbable foods, and to strictly avoid whole grains, raw plants, and heavy stabilizers. So the golden rule is basically, here's the allowed and safe low residue diet food. Granular white sugar, refined white bread and white rice, clear juices, no pulp, tender, well-cooked meats, traditional block cream cheese. So under category of grains and starches, here is what is allowed: white bread, white rice, plain white pasta, refined crackers like saltines, and cream of wheat. What is not allowed is whole wheat bread, brown rice, wild rice, oatmeal, bran, quinoa, and any baked goods containing nuts or seeds. So obviously I don't eat grains, and at this point I don't even make pudding. I don't use cornstarch anymore, which is I haven't been feeling comfortable with the cornstarch. It makes me bloated and tired. I'm not digesting the starch, which I'm going to speak about in my next video, so I won't go in so much detail about that. Under fruits and vegetables, what is allowed is well-cooked or canned vegetables without skins or seeds, like skinless potatoes or canned carrots, ripe bananas, melon, and completely clear fruit juices without pulp. What you need to avoid is all raw vegetables, raw fruits with skins, seeds, like berries, apples, and broccoli, dried fruit like raisins and prunes, and prune juice. And then under proteins and dairy, what is allowed is tender lean meats, eggs, tofu, and smooth dairy products like traditional block cream cheese or plain yogurt. And to avoid tough or fibrous meats, crunchy peanut butter, dry beans, peas, lentils, and any whipped or light dairy products containing added stablers like gar gum, which I made the mistake the other day, and I wanted to retry whipped cream cheese, and it was the most horrible experience. And that gar gum is really aggressive to my stomach, and I had a very bad bowel movement too, so it does come out as fiber. So yeah, the cream cheese you really got to watch out with the gar gum and maybe other gums and thickeners, xanthan gum, because those do act like fiber. Then under sweets and condiments, what is allowed is granular white sugar, clear jelly, honey, pure maple syrup, and plain hard candies. And to avoid jams with seeds, marmalade, chocolate containing nuts, brown sugar due to irritating molasses, we'll get into more detail about that in the next video, and sugar-free candies made with sugar alcohols. And why the refined ingredients matter is because throughout your digestive journey, simple chemical structures make all the difference for a sensitive gut. Simple over complex. Refined items like granular white sugar, sucrose, are broken down instantaneously by a single enzyme in the upper small intestine, leaving absolute zero residue in the colon. And avoiding the fermentation trap is complex starches, whole grains, and additive gums like gar gum take an extensive multi-step process to digest. If your bowel is inflamed or lacks sufficient enzymes like amylase, these unrefined compounds travel intact to the colon, where bacteria ferment them into painful gas, severe bloating, and bulky stools. And so I looked up, about carrageenan on a low-residue diet, because I was thinking, and also what irritates me is my spray can whipped cream that has carrageenan in it, and my gut never feels good after eating it. Like, I'm really addicted to it. It tastes good, but I know it's not doing my stomach well. Whereas when I just have half and half, I love half and half because it's just two ingredients, milk and cream, and it digests so much better for me. Let me talk about carrageenan. While carrageenan does not technically add fiber in the traditional sense, it is a highly concentrated polysaccharide extracted from red seaweed. Like gar gum, it behaves as a heavy thickening and stabilizing agent that can directly defeat the primary goals of a low residue plan, which are bowel rest and minimizing GI irritation. Why the carrageenan fails on a low residue diet? Because it cannot be digested. The human stomach and small intestine lack the specific enzymes required to break down carrageenan because it cannot be absorbed. 100% of the carrageenan you consume travels completely intact directly into your large intestine, and it volumizes stool. Once in the colon, carrageenan acts like a sponge. It absorbs water and forms a thick, gelatinous mass. This creates bulkier, heavier stools which can stretch or stress an inflamed or recently operated bowel. It can induce intestinal inflammation. There is emerging clinical research, including studies highlighted in National Institutes of Health publications, showing that carrageenan can disrupt the protective mucus layer of the gut, increase intestinal permeability, leaky gut, and trigger direct mucosal inflammation. This is highly dangerous if you're on a low-residue diet to manage an active inflammatory bowel disease, IBD flare-up, or diverticulitis. And it triggers gas and cramps. Gut bacteria will attempt to ferment the unabsorbed seaweed sugars. This rapid fermentation releases localized gases, resulting in severe abdominal bloating, flatulence, and painful cramping. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Would you want to have that go on in your stomach? So where would you find this carrageenan? Here's where it sneaks in dairy products like chocolate milk, heavy whipping creams, ice cream, sour cream, and shelf-stable puddings. So, this is a problem for me being on a dairy-based diet. I have to so watch out for that carrageenan in products. It's in plant-based milks like almond milk, soy milk, oat milk, and coconut milk blends. It's in deli meats, and it's in nutritional shakes, certain ready-to-drink protein shakes or meal replacements. So they talk about staying with natural fats and liquids, like choosing traditional full-fat block cream cheese, regular fluid whole milk, or plain unwhipped dairy that list only simple ingredients like milk, cream, and salt. The problem with cream cheese is you can only get a few brands that don't have any added thickeners, even in the block cream cheese like they're talking about. Like if you're getting traditional Philadelphia cream cheese, well, sorry to say, that has carabine gum in it. And if you're getting other brands, it's got gar gum. To get one that has no gums, no thickeners, you would need to get Tillamook block cream cheese or Better Goods block cream cheese from Walmart. And I believe there is one more. No, I think those might be. I don't know of any others that don't have at least carabine gum in it. So, all right, but definitely stay away from the whipped. That's the worst one. That one is the most aggressive, the highest amount of gar gum in the whipped. So just stay away from that. And then sour creams, you can find sour cream with no gar gum, like Daisy sour cream. That's no problem there. Mexican cream is a problem. They're going to throw in the gar gum and the carrageenan. Heavy whipping cream is a problem. The standard heavy whipping creams throw in the carrageenan, and you have to find specific ones that don't have it. If you go organic, like Horizon, sorry about that. You're going to be getting gellan gum instead, which is no better. I tell you, it's no better. So to get a heavy cream without it, you'll have to find one. Like in my state of Arizona, there is a Dunsizen whipping cream that's in a glass bottle that has no added thickeners. There's also I believe Trader Joe's organic one does not, and also what was I gonna say? Strauss, however you say that. That organic one doesn't either. So there's a few you can find, but it's hard to find them. And anyways, I just prefer half and half. I don't even do heavy cream, so for me it's a non-issue. But I know for some people on a carnivore diet, this could be a problem. So be careful about the heavy creams that you buy, and just look out for those ingredients and try to find them without the gums in it. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm going to come back with another video and talk about sugars and starches. Okay, stay tuned for that.